welcome to the Nintendo Ninja Facebook Live. We're here online, getting things done. Hang on. We're getting into the action of it. So we have a bit of news and things like that. I'm not too sure how long this episode will go for, but I do wonder. Hang on. So we'll just start to drum things up a bit and start sharing things. So yeah, it's been interesting today. Now you might be wondering, yes, I'm holding the microphone because the stand has actually broken. It's gone snap, and that is not It hasn't been that great in terms of that. Let's just get sharing. It's always a little bit quiet the first few minutes, but that's okay. So yeah, it's been an interesting week. I think the last show was done on Saturday or Friday. It was done a few days ago. It wasn't a full week. I was going to do a live show yesterday, but it was a little bit. I didn't have a good night last night, but that's all right. But we're here now with a bit of news and stuff like that. And once we get a bit of a crowd happening, I'll go into the news and talk about stuff. So we're just sharing a few things around. Hang on. Hello. So if you want to help me out, you could share this live stream happening to your friends or any gaming groups that you know of on Facebook as we try to get a few people in and watching. So it's always fun to do something like that. And we shall see how this goes. So we've got a couple people here live at the moment. And we are just... So, yes, it's been an interesting sort of week. Not a huge amount of news, I would say, since the Nintendo Direct that came out with a whole flood of info and stuff like that. We'll talk about the Iwata Switch tribute later on, because that involves a little bit of detailed discussion about that. But some of the interesting news is one of the analysts and investors who sort of give predictions about Nintendo and stuff like that. They have basically predicted that the Switch by the end of 2022, which is about 4 or 5 years away, will sell 130 million units, which is something I just can't believe at this point. I think mainly because it doesn't seem very logical, you would say. I'm predicting personally that the Switch will get around 75 million. I think due to the high sales of this year and all that sort of stuff, and all that sort of success that has been coming out. Now, these guys think that 130 is going to be possible. Now, I can't see those numbers. That's more than the Wii, and it's about 20 million less than the Nintendo DS. I'm not too sure where those predictions came, but I'm just going to pin this comment. So I'm kind of surprised about that. So I don't think those analysts of the 130 million Switch consoles is going to actually happen. I think it's going to be around the 75 million mark. The previous prediction was 70 million. So I don't know about that. Now, another piece of news, apparently Netflix is ready to roll when it comes to getting onto the Nintendo Switch. However, they need Nintendo's approval in order to get their AMP onto the Nintendo Switch. So you can watch all sorts of exciting stuff on Netflix. Now, I'm looking for the Netflix when it eventually comes, and it should be soon if Nintendo can get the ball rolling. And I'm also happy to see YouTube go onto Switch. Would be great. You'll be able to watch Nintendo Ninja News on the Switch. You will be able to watch all sorts of videos and things like that. And the Switch would be great to watch, Let's Plays and things like that on it. You can sit back on the lounge or in bed, or maybe outside watching the Switch. You've got a little, personal hotspot on your phone or something like that. So, yeah, I think that could be a lot of fun to do and to deal with. So I'm quite happy about that. So I'm hoping that Netflix does come soon. It would be nice by the end of this year. There will be an extra sort of present for people who already own the Switch. And it'd be nice to see some different services like that come to the console before the end of this year. Now, the interesting one is Nintendo spent apparently $4.5 million on ads in August, which was very interesting. I think maybe if you can compare it to the Wii U advertising dollars, it's probably much, much higher. And I believe that wasn't, I think that's part of the Wii U's problem, was the console itself and the messaging and the lack of ads, advertising on TV and things like that. And it seems like Nintendo's really getting sort of understanding the modern world a little bit when it comes to advertising and that. So I think it's good to see those numbers. I mean, 4.5 million is a lot, but I'd say they're making a lot more money in terms of selling the consoles and stuff like that. So that is an exciting thing, to say the least, about it. Now, for those who are watching, you can... who is this here? Peter Justin Cairns. I know you're voting yes for marriage equality. Yes, I am. So there you go. So I wonder who he's voting for, but that's up to everyone. At the end of the day, it is Australian politics, of course, on the same-sex marriage stuff. So, hello, Joshua. How are you? Good to see a familiar face in the crowd. Hello, Jimmy. How are you? Jimmy is a Prince Lion supporter, and Josh, I know from other websites and YouTube and things like that, I believe. Oh, no, you now, maybe, yeah. I'm having one of those days where I'm forgetting things here and there. But good to see a couple of people on board, and let's see if we can get some sort of discussion rolling for tonight. It's a little funny kind of holding the mic stand because my mic stand actually broke, as I talked about. These are the pieces. Oh, thank you, Peter. That's good to see. And I guess that Nintendo News, I guess we officially say that we support diversity and all that sort of stuff, and look at all the characters. We sort of believe in all sorts of people around the world and that. So with the mic stand, you can see my mic stand is now in pieces, and I do not know what to do. So I'm going to be holding this thing for a while. So do keep the conversations going so I don't fall asleep and drop the mic and hit my head or something like that. So as we're getting on with the news and stuff like that, I really should have filled my cup before the show. I really should have done that. Why? Oh, name this Pokemon. You know who it is? Give it a guess. So you might be wondering, what's this the Switch tribute to Iwata, who was the previous president of Nintendo. Now, some little hackers and homebrew people found that there was a NES golf game in the operating system of the Switch, which is very, very interesting. And they were wondering, what's this all about? This is quite strange. So what they found out was, and after some working is out, if you have a brand new console that's not connected to the internet, it's never been connected, just fresh out of the box, and if you turn it on, you need to set the date to July the 11th, which is the day that Iwata passed away. Now, if you do the gestures with the two Joy-Cons, which I'll just quickly show you. So basically, it's the sort of pose that Iwata did with, directly to you. Now, if you do that about 3 times or something, the NES golf game will actually appear, and it will actually have a little sound bite, I believe would be Iwata's voice. Might be saying directly, which is in Japanese or some other word. So basically, it's seen as like a tribute, like a lucky thing. Now, I will copy and paste what people think it is. Let me just put that down there. Which is like a good luck thing. It's almost like something to protect your console and providing good luck and things like that. And that's basically what the tribute to Iwata is about. So, in each Switch console, there's a little bit of Iwata in it, overlooking from the heavily above, sort of protecting your Switch console. So it's a really, really nice tribute, and it's a really nice thing that Nintendo did. So actually quite incredible, the sort of detail that they went to. And I think the only way for you to actually test that yourself is to wait until next year, until July the 11th, which is the anniversary of his death, and try it out for yourself, because it can't change the date, because it's run by the server end, and the console won't allow you to do it on any other day. So you actually have to go and wait for the Pacific Day in order to do this, Easter egg inside the operating system. So it actually is quite an incredible little Easter egg. It's very, very interesting. And I think it's a nice little tribute that they haven't publicly said that this is what it was. But I think the tribute is fantastic. Hello, James. How are you? How's everything? A local Canberra person. But it is such a lovely tribute that they did to the former president in terms of, still recognizing. I think he probably had a large part in the Switch. And I think the sad thing when he passed away was, it was sort of in the middle of sort of darkness in terms of the Wii U doing very poorly, and he was probably working hard on this next console to try to fix up the mistakes that had been happening. And I hope that people don't sort of see his legacy as just the Wii U and sort of see, well, he tanked the company. And yes, the company made a loss after, decades of profits and always doing well. And I think people need to see him as someone who sort of started that success of the Switch and that idea, but also too for the big success of the Wii and the DS. The DS was a great console, and the Wii is kind of a mixed response for people. But the Wii did sell 100 million, and it was a big cultural change, motion controls and things like that. And the motion controls are still there with the Joy-Cons in their respective manner. So I think that was a really great little tribute to him. So that's pretty much the news. And I do know in the next week or so that by the end of September, you'll also be able to play the new game on the Switch, Steamworld Dig 2, which is fantastic. I know the first one was well done. Thank you, James. It's good to see some nice little support there. Another Canberra person. I'm born in Queensland, but I guess I'm a Canberra person now, sort of a dual citizenship. Maybe no. I might have to refer myself to the High Court to see if I'm a Queenslander or AC-tarian. Is that even a thing? So yes, good to see you, James, and hopefully a few more people jumping on board. So I'm still getting used to holding the mic. It's weird. I've got to get a new stand. I can't afford a new microphone. I mean, there's a nice one for $100, but it's just not when you've got to pay off a winter power bill and buy a couple more video games, I suppose. I'll try to make a makeshift sort of stand for it later on. So at the moment, the games that I'm playing, and do come in with the comments and chat about what games that you're playing on the Switch or the 3DS or even a retro console, even if you've pulled out an old N64 or an old DS or Game Boy Advance or even a Virtual Boy if you're one of the very lucky people to own one. I will be getting myself into Pokemon Gold on the 3DS. That's going to keep me busy for a good 30 hours because I think it's my favorite generation, but I haven't played it for such a long time that I've forgotten a lot about the game. I've played Red and Yellow on the 3DS, and that was great. But I remember getting Gold from Toy World. Yeah, that's a long time ago. Back when Toy World, this is a store in Australia, and Toy World used to sell video games. Now they sell more like hobby stuff, like Lego, more smaller children's stuff. And they got the new Gold game, and I was like, oh, this is exciting. This is great. Because I was excited for new Pokemon, but I was excited about the night and day feature because it used the internal clock for the Game Boy. And I got it, and I was really excited. And this glittering gold little cartridge Game Boy, I just put it into my Game Boy Color because I got the purple Game Boy Color, I believe, with Pokemon Yellow. And it had a little bit of color in it, but this was a full sort of Game Boy Color game, I believe, for Gold. And the graphics are great. I was really happy about it. Caught lots of Pokemon. And of course, with Iwata that we were talking about before, he was able to compress the game so much that they were able to fit the first generation map into it. You were able to go back to the previous region in Gold and go through the gym leaders and all that sort of thing, which was quite exciting. I kind of wish they'd do that for modern Pokemon games. That would be kind of fun. Kind of a throwback to the previous generation, but who knows? But that's another incredible thing that Iwata did with the game because Game Freak were really behind with Pokemon Gold. They were also struggling with Pokemon Stadium. There weren't a really big team of people, and they were struggling to get things out because they were also trying to do translations and stuff for Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow worldwide. So they had all these different games too, and I think there was something like Pokemon Pinball and trading cards during that period too. So they had too many games going on at once, and they were trying to get things out. And that's when Iwata stepped in and rolled up his sleeves and got into action mode. And that's how he sort of compressed everything and saved everything. He also had a huge hand in Pokemon Stadium in terms of just rebuilding the entire game because that was turning into a mess too. It's not often when sort of a president or someone of his high stature would actually kind of go in and do that sort of thing. It's a bit like the CEO of McDonald's going into your local McDonald's store and kind of flipping burgers and helping out the team there because they're struggling and, there's 30 people there. It's a late Saturday night. you would never see something like that. But Iwata was a very different person. You know, he was a gamer, he was a game designer, and he understood fairly well the business side of things. But I think he was a gamer at heart. I think he loved designing stuff and games and things like that. And I think that's why people loved him so much, was because he was one of us. He was truly one of us. You know, he wasn't, you know, I like Kimishida. I think he's doing really well as president of Nintendo with the Switch and the promotions and things like that. And it might be good to have a bit more of a straight businessman in for Nintendo at this point, in terms of just trying to navigate them out of the Wii U era into something really good. But I think with Iwata, he was kind of one of us. You look at the Nintendo Directs and things like that, and he kind of understood the internet quite well. You know, I think he knew when he held out a bunch of bananas, or he did something silly or stupid, like he knew it was going to be photoshopped. He knew this was the new running joke on the internet and gaming forum boards. He knew how to lovingly manipulate those sort of things and sort of create a bit of hype for directs and things like that. The whole direct you, and, you know, when he apologizes, please understand, and stuff like that. But yeah, shit, it's been 2 years. It's been a bit over 2 years since it's been gone. So yeah, that's why I feel like the Nintendo Directs they're still good, but it just lacks that human soul, you know, because it wasn't just, you know, with Nintendo Directs, it was like, oh, you know, what new games are coming out and that sort of thing. Oh, I want new Smash Brothers. And it was like, you know, what silly shit we're going to see Iwata do, or Miyamoto or Reggie do, you know. And E3 was always fun with puppetry stuff and the epic fight between, you know, Reggie and Iwata. I don't think you would see any other company do that. I think the companies are very different to other gaming companies, and even general business and that, the way they sort of interact with people. And I hope that thing kind of continues onwards with the next generation of Nintendo devs. Hang on. Just saying to someone that I'm live now. So if you want to leave some comments and things like that, do, because as well as me just muttering along, you can type in comments and chat to me about games you're playing and things like that. Let me just see if I can. I don't think I can. Hang on. I'm just trying to link someone here so he can actually see me. No, it's not going to work, everyone. Raymond's trying to come online, but he won't. Come online at the moment. All right. So, yeah, Pokemon Gold. We're getting sidetracked there. We went into Pokemon Gold and playing games, and I went back into Iwata and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, Pokemon Gold's going to be a lot of fun. The next game, I do have a list of games. Now, I was going to do a 3DS unboxing of the Pokeball thing in early November when that comes out for the new 2DS XL. However, due to budget constraints, I won't be able to do it. I just don't have the money for it. I was also going to get Fire Emblem Warriors, the special edition, for an unboxing, but I can't afford to do that too, due to, you know, I got the winter power bill, and it's nasty. It is nasty. I just opened up the envelope and looked at the bill number, and I thought, oh shit, I'll just put that away now. Don't want to deal with the power bill. It's not a good amount. As you know, here in Australia, power bills are going up and up and up. So that's probably like that worldwide. So at the moment, the next game I'll get after that is Super Mario Odyssey. I think that would be a good pick. We might do a little review and chat about it. There's no real special edition to it, which is a shame. But I am going to get the Cappy hat. I promise if I talk about Super Mario Odyssey or a Facebook Live, I will wear the Cappy hat just for the entertainment of everyone. So hopefully people... yes, Darren, you may ask me a question. I shall like your thingy. So do ask away. I'm just getting comfortable here at the moment. Oh, it's a little cold in here, but I'm just trying to warm up here at the moment. I should get myself a drink. Hang on. I'm going to quickly get a drink of Coke and fill up this cup, and I'll be back in about 15 seconds. Time me. Hello, Raymond. How are you? And guess who's here too? Yes, Pikachu always needs to be in a live video. I don't know why, but he likes being around. So, good to see you, Raymond. We'll see if we can get the comments going and the questions and things like that. You're in New York City? Oh, that's pretty cool. That's very, very cool. Yeah. Cool. Yes, we've been on for nearly half an hour. I'm surprised because I thought the stream might go a bit too quiet, and that's okay. But yeah, so I'll get Super Mario Odyssey, and then in November, I will be getting Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. That's going to be really interesting. I will be doing an unboxing of the fan edition stuff. It's going to be very similar to... I'm going to bring out the boxes and show you. This thing with the mic attached to me. Why am I talking without the microphone? You can't hear me. This sort of thing. It's sort of like the fan edition. It's like a day one edition thing. It comes with that and the little steel case things. These were quite nice. These were very nice. So there will be something very similar for that for Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I'll pre-order it in the next couple of weeks. And they look quite nice. They look quite pretty. And where's the Sun version? The inside is the same, which is very nice, isn't it? So I'm hoping to get a few more stuff like that. And I will also be getting Skyrim, which will sink a lot of hours. So it's going to be, oh my God, it's going to be so hard to try to play Skyrim. Maybe it's a good thing that the new Pokemon game's on the 3DS, so I can do, Skyrim on the Switch, and on the 3DS I'll be playing Pokemon at the same time. What's the difference between Ultra Sun and Moon? Pokemon. It's just different Pokemon, I suppose. That's basically it. And the Legendary too, which, you either want that one or the other one. That sort of thing. It's not a huge amount of difference. So either one you'll be happy with. Or if you're crazy, you'll buy the two of them like I'm doing and do an unboxing. So that's sort of what I try to do. The last... where is Animal Crossing? I will make the prediction that you could be playing it by the end of next year, Animal Crossing. That's my tip. Yeah, it's like an Ultimate Edition, Raymond. That's basically what it is. In terms of what it is for Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I don't know when Pokemon, the main series, will eventually come to the Switch. It could be next year, could be the year after. But I'll be interested to see what eventuates out of that. It's too early to tell. So yeah, Skyrim, and then in December, the 1st of December, I will get the special edition of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and I'll do an unboxing for that. And I might even get the Pro Controller version of it, because I've gotten over 100 views on the Pro Controller announcement, and I'm thinking maybe an unboxing wouldn't be too bad. It's about $110, but I do need a new Pro Controller. I think the last one might have thrown it a couple times, but that's okay. It gives me an excuse to get more Nintendo accessories. So if you would like to share or even join the page, hang on. If you'd like to join Nintendo Ninja News, the page, that would be great. We got a few likes last time when we did this, and that was really, really cool and very, very exciting. And if you'd like to join the YouTube page, that is a pinned comment probably up the top of the chat room. So we've had a pretty bad subscription month this year. I think we've only got 10 new subs, and I'm trying to get to 500. I'm about 13 or 14 away. So it's a little disappointing when that stuff happens. And I'm hoping to get a few more likes and discussions in there. I'm just looking at some of the live stuff that I'm doing. Now, let's have a look. Can I share it? I'm just looking for groups to share this to. Let's have a look. I don't know. There's too much stuff here. I'll just share it around. So yeah, they're all the games that I'm getting, and that's all the stuff that I'm getting at this point. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to all the things that are happening. Oh, hang on. Someone's asking me where's my cat. Whisk is somewhere. He doesn't sort of sit around for long. He normally sits on the lap or just nudges my face repeatedly. But I think we could get him in. Normally around the half an hour mark, he comes in and makes his grand announcement. Whisk! Either people think I have a cat or I have imaginary friends. Hang on. Here we go. Okay. He's added a bit of weight lately. I really shouldn't have given him some of that pie tonight. But, you know, when you got a little look like this, looking very cute at you wanting food, it, you know, just get him on the lap. So, yeah, they're the games I'm going to be sort of playing out for the rest of this year. I will also be trying to keep up the videos and the news and things like that. I'll keep doing the live videos here, which is it's been pretty good for me. I re-uploaded the first episode on YouTube, and it did okay. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all goes on. I wouldn't mind doing YouTube Live and sort of get the views there, but YouTube Live is very hard. And to be honest, a lot of people on Whisk on YouTube just doesn't watch it. I think you can hear his purr. There we go. It's purring away. But yeah, it's going to be good. So tell us what games that you are buying. What games are you? Come on, guys. Hey, Chris, what's your opinion on Breath of the Wild having such low... okay, I'll see you later on, Raymond. Having such a low frame rate on the Switch when PC emulators have it running at 60 frames. It's an interesting question. Personally, I don't really care. It's still a brilliant, amazing game. I'm not too sure how the emulators sort of did it, but I think maybe something went wrong when they tried to port it from the Wii U to the Switch, because originally this was just a Wii U title, and then they were told, "Oh, yes, you need to port it to the Nintendo Switch." So I'm not really huge on frame rates and things like that. I guess I'm an old school gamer in terms of I'm not really fussy in terms of 30 frames per second or 60 frames. Like, if it's a better quality, I'm happy with it. If it's not, I don't make a huge fuss about it, probably because I'm not a PC gamer. If I was a PC gamer, I probably would be a little more mindful of that or that sort of thing. But yeah, it's interesting how the emulators, but you can always sort of take a game and modify it and make it run better and stuff like that. So I think that they did fix some of the issues with some of the patchwork. But yeah, it would be interesting to see it running in 60 frames. Maybe you should have a look at it. But yeah, I think that's the Wii U version that they got emulated, not the Switch version. Yeah, but yeah, it's interesting to see that sort of stuff. But there's a few games that's running at 60 frames on the Switch, so that's good to see. And hearing some news in talking about putting difficult games on the Switch, Square Enix is actually trying to squeeze Final Fantasy 15 onto the Switch. Now, that's pretty difficult, seeing how big the game is. And I'm not too sure the Switch can handle it, but I will give people props for actually trying to do it. And that seems like there's a fair bit of faith in the Nintendo Switch at the moment in terms of, putting the good games on like Doom and Skyrim and Wolfenstein 2 and all these sort of third-party games that seem to be starting to come across to that sort of thing. Yeah, ARMS is at 60 frames, not in split mode, so which is good to see. I do like ARMS. I think I've talked about ARMS a bit before. It's just a shame with the game that it was a bit thin in terms of features. I think the general idea is pretty cool, but I think releasing it between Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Splatoon 2 doesn't help. And I think the lack of features and the price tag. I think if they released it for like a $50 game or something like that, it would have sold a bit more. I mean, I know it sold over 1 million, but yeah, there's a lack of features and characters, like only 10 characters. Now we're up to 11 or 12 now. So yeah, I don't know what they'll do with the ARMS series, if they think it's good enough to do a sequel or not. Don't know. It's all up in the air. But what else is there? What other games that are coming out? I know that I have not gotten Metroid Samus Returns. I know that's horrible, and I do love Metroid. But with my budget at the moment, I've got to stay very tight on things and make sure that everything's okay for the rest of the year. So that is true. Oh, Whisk. This is what I have to deal with below. Have a look. Stop it. Stop it. Stop touching the microphone every time. See the things I have to deal with? Hello there. Any news on the Mini N64? Now, that's an interesting one. There's been a few questions about that. Now, I would say it could be the very first time that the controller will be bigger than the actual console itself. My big problem is licensing. Licensing could be the thing that kind of could ruin the idea of a good N64 mini classic. And that's because of Rare. Rare was bought out by Microsoft now a long time ago, and we can't put on games like GoldenEye, Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Perfect Dark, things like that. I think the funny story that I heard when Rare was bought by Microsoft was that Microsoft thought that they actually had the rights to Donkey Kong and the Donkey Kong Country trilogy. And the answer to that is no, they didn't, because Donkey Kong was a creation of Nintendo. So we got to keep those games, which, to be honest, I'm pretty happy about. I think the chances of it is it's possible, but you might not like the games that are on there. I mean, you could get Super Mario Kart 64, which would be cool. Super Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask would be good. Hello, Leah. How are you tonight? And all those games. But also, too, that it's a 4-player console. How much would you sell an N64 controller for? Would it be $30-40 in Australia? You buy another 3, then it becomes quite expensive. How much would the N64 mini classic be sold at? Would it be a little more than the Super Nintendo, like $150? You add the additional controllers and you're starting to get towards the price of the Switch. Not nearly 500, but let's just say they sell at 150. And the controllers are like $40 each. That would be 270 for a mini classic. Now, it could be cheaper, but let's just say, you know, a little bit of Nintendo tax on top of it. So, no, I've not, because I haven't been able to afford the game. To being honest, I can't afford the game. So, the only games that I can literally afford at this moment, unless I win the lottery or Nintendo Australia decides to give me game codes or game reviews, is probably Mario Odyssey, Pokemon, and Skyrim, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I think they're the games that I've sort of picked and chosen that I want to play, that I would enjoy playing, but also I can talk about and do little reviews on it online. So I would love to get those games, but it's just, you know, affordability. You know, sadly, Nintendo News doesn't really make any money, so everything behind here is bought out by myself, and yeah, it's tough. But yeah, with the N64 mini classic, I would like it to happen. I think a GameCube mini would be interesting, but I don't know. I would say for Nintendo now, just stick to the NES and the Super Nintendo and make sure that you make enough copies of the thing. Come on, Nintendo. God. You might think I'm a fanboy with all this in the background, but we do have to criticize Nintendo at times. Just make sure you have the stock in, and they need to rewrite the whole voice chat on the Switch. Just delete everything, start again. Phil, yeah, that winter power bill, oh God, that was horrible. I think my winter power bill was like twice the amount of my last winter power bill for the year before. So it's like, oh shit, I'm fucked. I just took the envelope, just shoved it under the desk, just pretending it doesn't exist because it was that bad. But I'll eventually pay it off. They won't disconnect me. Not yet. So the show will go on, as they say. Now, what other games have been people playing, or what things would you like me to talk about, or any questions? I need to actually fill out my drink because I got off on a tangent. That's okay. Let me just get my drink. It's all good now. Yeah, I think one of the things that someone asked me that what are some of the things that I like to review or do, and it's sort of a conversation I feel like I always need to kind of have, because a lot of people generally think that on a YouTube channel that Let's Plays and game reviews are popular. Now there are, but the problem is they're quite heavily saturated. Everyone does a game review of Metroid: Samus Returns. Everyone does a Let's Play of a game that comes out. But the stuff that's popular for me is more like physical unboxings or books, which, if I can move myself, you can see I'm just doing a circle around them. There's some of the books that I've bought, like Pokemon ones and stuff like that. And things like that. My last two popular unboxings or reviews was the Charizard and the Blastoise, the plushies. They were really popular, got several hundred views. Everything was really good, and I was quite happy about how it all turned out. So I was curious about probably getting more plushies in the future, but they are like $50 each. I don't know if I can justify it, but I look at how well they do on the channel, and I think, man, I maybe should have gotten another 2 or 3. I was going to get Venusaur, but just, financially hasn't been that great. Haven't been able to do much. I know there's some people suggested for me to do like a Patreon account, but I don't think I have enough people that would support it, to be honest. I do run ads on my YouTube channel, but they're not those scummy, 15-second ads that you have to deal with before the video starts. They're like those little ads that appear down the bottom. So you still see myself and Mike, but you just see like a little ad that kind of runs like that. So it's not really in the way. So it was kind of clever in terms of that. But, the ads make me no money, I'm going to be honest. So that's all right. What are you doing, cat? What are you doing? So that's sort of the way that things are at this point. But I think next year I will try to do more unboxings and reviews and things like that, and work out what needs to be done. But I'll have to figure out what would be the next task in terms of that. I don't know what games are specifically coming out for 2018. I have some ideas. I think my theory is that we will see Animal Crossing and Super Smash Brothers. I think they're the next ones to come out. Because we haven't heard much about the smartphone game for Animal Crossing. I think there will be some sort of cross-play between them. And I think that's why they've gone quiet. I think that they're saying to themselves, we'll release those two around the same time period next year. And that will be a good game to sink your teeth into. That will definitely take you a while to get through Animal Crossing. I know people that play it for thousands of hours, and they still play it today. It's crazy. With New Leaf on the 3DS, I played it for about 300 hours. That's a long time. And I enjoyed it, and I got my town just looking right with all the costumes and little furniture pieces and things like that. And I think all of a sudden I was just like, I'm done with the game. I'm happy with it. Everything's good. And the daily upkeep is a bit much at times with the game. So I think that's why I put it to bed too. What's your opinion on potential new game mechanics with Metroid Prime 4? What do you think, Whisk? What do you think? I don't know. I have to think about that. Well, what do you think could be new game mechanics yourself, James? I don't know. I mean, I played all 3 of them, but I wouldn't mind stuff like using the Joy-Cons, and in terms of sort of game mechanics and features and things like that. I wouldn't mind, using something with the Joy-Cons or using the rumble feature well. Maybe introduce some of the 2D Metroid into stuff. Well, they kind of do when you turn into the ball and doing some of those puzzles and that. I think generally, in terms of mechanics in the game itself, I just want it to be a solid, good game. I know some people are a little bit funny about who's making the game, The aiming functionality. Yeah, I think I could see that. And all that sort of thing. Yeah, I think the aiming functionality could be quite improved a lot, and I think that's something to look forward to. I just want it to be a good game, and I want it to do really well. I want it to sell. And for all those Metroid fans out there, when Prime 4 comes out, you better be buying it like 4 copies, because it's got to sell millions, I would say, for the series to keep going onwards. They don't sell as well as the Mario or Zelda, but, it's the put up or shut up for the fan base. Oh, Whiskers jumped down. Leah asks, has Nintendo ever made any comic books? They have, haven't they? I think James would know, and a few others. Yeah, there was Legend of Zelda does some from time to time. I think Splatoon has done something. So yeah, Nintendo's done comic books from time to time, not themselves, but sort of like another company or business from time to time. But yeah, they've sort of touched onto the comic book stuff. I think they're a little more interested in maybe movies and TV shows and that. They've talked about it in the past, but we haven't heard much details about it. I think the big thing, apart from the Switch and the 3DS, is getting their theme parks going in America and Japan. So, yeah, that's right. James is right. I knew if he was around. Yep, there was some Zelda ones, and definitely a Four Swords Adventure one. That would be good for the Switch. Would be would James, would you want a Four Swords type of adventure game on the Switch? I mean, you could even do a 2-player with the 2 Joy-Cons in terms of like an adventure game like that. I mean, seeing that they've done Breath of the Wild already at launch, there has to be another Zelda type game coming. That would be interesting. I wouldn't mind like a co-op game, like where one plays Link and the other one plays Zelda in something, and you can use the 2 Joy-Cons as 2-player mode and do something like that. So who knows? Or they could just do a port, maybe port A Link Between Worlds. That would be a fun game to play on the Switch. Yeah, I would enjoy that. That'll be one game. That would be a game that I would enjoy from the 3DS coming to the Switch. I don't know what other games that will come out for 2018. I don't think Metroid 4 will be out next year. I think it's a 2019 game at the earliest. I think they just showed off the title screen just to say that, yes, we've heard you loud and clear. The game has been made. Just wait for a little longer. But I don't think the wait should be too long. All these great games are coming out, so and I'm struggling to try to play them all. Splatoon, Mario Kart, all these host of games that I haven't tried to play much of. Fast RMX just got a new patch, which is fantastic. Little Inferno I've been playing. I played a couple months ago Wonder Boy, The Dragon's Trap. That was a great game. Rayman Legends. I know probably most of you have played it, but that's now out for the Switch. Obviously, it looks really good. And if you know Japanese, the Monster Hunter Double Cross is out on the Japanese eShop, which I sadly don't know, but you can kind of vaguely play it in Japanese. It's just I don't really know what the weapons are specifically. It's a little difficult, but if you're a Monster Hunter fan, you'll probably learn Japanese by now. And interesting with PlayStation 4, that'll be an interesting question because I think James plays Monster Hunter. What do you think of Monster Hunter World coming to the PlayStation 4? Because it's Monster Hunter, but it's not. It's quite open world, where the Monster Hunter series, for those who don't know, I've only played mainly the one game or two, Monster Hunter Generations and the previous one that I've just lost out of my head. They're more like gated sort of sections and areas, where this one's like open world, kind of do what you like. Be interesting to see how it goes on the PS4. Be interesting to see how that gamble works out for Capcom. And maybe they should increase their support for the Nintendo Switch, like everyone else is doing. Even Rockstar's doing it with LA Noire, which is fantastic. Another game that's coming along. So how are we going? Oh, we've been on for nearly an hour. We've got a few people watching. Bunch of comments, not as much as we got like over 100 comments of discussion, which was really interesting. So that's very, very cool. Any other games that people have been playing, or any other questions on stuff? Because it's nearly 10 p.m. It's not too bad. I think our last live video went for about an hour and a half, so it wasn't too bad. But holding this thing for a whole hour now, it's crazy. It's a Wednesday too. A month until my birthday. I'll be 32. Oh. I don't like getting older. It's not fun. But at least on October the 20th, I would have paid off for... Yeah, it's a month and 7 days until Super Mario Odyssey. That's crazy. Only 5 weeks to go. I still think it's incredible that we've gotten a Zelda and a Mario game in the 1 year, and Mario Kart, Splatoon, and all that sort of thing too. It's been a really big year this year. It'd be interesting to see how the second and third and fourth and fifth year goes for the Nintendo Switch, and see what happens with the Nintendo 3DS over that time. So I wonder how the 3DS will go next year, what sort of support that it gets. I wonder. Always stuff. Yay, 3DS. Just trying to see what comments are there. I get this funny feeling that the comments are not showing up very well here. Because it seems like it kind of freezes. Sorry, Chris, has only played Sims lately on the PlayStation 2. Oh, that's all right. Oh, the Sims. I played it on the PC. On the PlayStation 2. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I do have a PlayStation 2 here. So it's kind of the retro stuff that I get into. So that's all right. We're nearly at an hour. So I wonder if that's the time to stop doing the live video, depending if we're getting any other people on board chatting. I thought maybe for the next live video that I might host it a little later, but that means that people in Australia won't able to watch. So, yeah, because I do tend to notice at 10 or 11 p.m., some of the overseas people start to come in. So that makes it a bit tricky to know what time's the best time. I thought of doing a morning one that starts at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. in the morning, because I normally work in the afternoons. So I have to try and figure out what's the best time for, majority of people, which is going to be hard. But I think this live video is mainly for Australian audience, but international too, It's hard to try to pinpoint it. But, yeah, lots of stuff here. Pokemon. So yeah, I'll look forward to doing more Pokemon unboxings. They always do well on the channel, and I like getting new shiny stuff. I don't do it that often. Like last year, I did a lot, but this year's been really reserved. Like we really haven't bought that much at all. I think last year and the year before, I went a bit crazy with buying new stuff and trying to set this up, but this year's been really, really quiet. Hopefully that we do things a little better next year. So, see what will happen. What do you think, Pikachu? There we go. So, any other last questions or thoughts about stuff, you can ask away if you like. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, that would be great. Or you can join the page, which is now over about 806 likes, which is great. So trying to get 1,000 one day. That's the big goal. That would be lovely. But yeah, we've seen a lot of people hop on and have a look at that. So it's been good fun for this past hour, talking about, I guess we'll go over the news, with Iwata's Switch tribute, with the little game, Nets golf game that was found in it. Steamworld Dig 2 is coming along in the next week, so you'll be able to buy that on the Switch, which is a great game. It's going to be a great game. Netflix on the Switch is happening, but Netflix needs Nintendo to approve it in order for it to appear on the console. So Nintendo, hurry up and get it done. And $4.5 million was spent on advertising in August for the Switch, or Nintendo in general. So it's been really, really good. I hope that you've enjoyed this live video. It's been a fun hour. We've got a few little comments here and there. It's been a lot of fun. Do join up to NintendoNinjaNews.com. That will take you directly to the YouTube page. We're trying to reach 500 subs, but we're having a bit of a struggle at the moment. But maybe next year, by next month, by my birthday, I will have a nice little surprise of 500 subs. It will be very, very nice. So that's it for me. I think my voice is dying now. But I think that's it for me. And I hope you have a good time. And I shall see you next time on NintendoNinjaNews.com. I'll see you later on.